And so we meet again on the subject of intimacy in devised theater spaces. We are circling back around to talk about ritual. I love ritual. Ritual is one of my very favorite things to talk about. I have no idea how I'm going to fit this all into one video. We'll see. But so I really want to kind of like narrow in on what it is to practice ritual in devised spaces and use ritual as a tool for intimacy. And so therefore use ritual as a tool to develop intimacy, whether it's physical intimacy or emotional intimacy or any of the other various types of intimacy we experience in theater. So the first thing that comes to my mind right now is the practice of like tapping in and tapping out with a scene partner. One of the ways this is useful in intimate work is it kind of turns on a different part of your brain. It lets your brain know, like, I'm about to do some really scary stuff, really vulnerable stuff with this person. And this person and I trust each other, and we have communicated with each other in some way that we are physically present for each other. And it's just a thing we're doing, as opposed to a thing we're experiencing. So at the start of a scene, two scene partners might have decided that they wanted to engage in some sort of tap-in ritual. It's something that's done with intention, and it's just something that lets your brain and your scene partner know, hey, I'm here, I'm doing this work. And then when it's done, there's the tap out where you have the opportunity to acknowledge your scene partner again and be like, yeah, we just did that thing. And that was hard and it was scary, but we did it, and we did it together. So thank you. And I've found in my work, this has been incredibly beneficial. And I've found that in devising spaces, it's not as straightforward as that, because oftentimes you're coming in, you don't know what you're bringing to the table. Well, I mean, you know what you're bringing into the table, but you don't know what anyone else is bringing to the table on any given day. This particular group of collaborators that I got to be in conversation with this semester, they had a process wherein they warmed up their physically together. And their physical warm-up, it varied from day to day, but there was always a moment where they took to share a breath together. So it happened usually at the end of the physical warm-up. So like they were all warming up physically in the space together, so they were getting themselves ready for it. And then they would gather and they'd breathe, and there'd be eye contact with each other and with everyone, and then they'd go into the work. That's one way to do it. I'm the type of person, I prefer something a little more physical contact. That works best for me, especially if there are moments of physical intimacy as opposed to just like, textual or spiritual or emotional or just something else. Having a moment of physical connectivity with intention, knowing that this is what we are agreeing to when we share this moment, that works better for me. But everyone's different, and it's something that like collaborators have to come to together. So it's something you can all agree on and all work with. And sometimes that means you have one thing for the group and something else for a pairing of partners, and that's okay too. And then at the end of it, what this group of collaborators always did was they were kind of militant about it, and it was exciting. Sometimes it went on a little while, but they shared in, I think it was 2 full minutes of eye contact. It worked for them. And that is what's important. It worked for them. That does not work for me. That terrifies me. That is uncomfortable for me. But again, That's the thing about intimacy. It is a very intimate thing to make eye contact with anyone, let alone several other people for an extended period of time. I think maybe that's why it doesn't work as a tap out for me. It might have worked as a tap in. I don't know. But there's no one way to do this, tap in and tap out. It's just something that collaborators need to come to together. And then, you know, this has actually gone on a little while. I'm going to come back with another video to talk more about building intimacy through ritual, or using ritual as a tool to build physical intimacy in a scene or in a devised project. Just because this is getting kind of long. So, see you on the flip side.